Hey, what's going on? That's like my entrance, right? No, it's a terrible entrance, but at least I try, okay? Welcome to another episode of Bookshade, and I am, of course, Amira Blaze. So, guys, this is part 2 of me finally wrapping up Dark Lover, book 1 of the Black Dagger Brotherhood by J.R. Ward. This has been a very interesting journey through this book, guys. This is part of my ongoing segment here on Bookshade that is going to be called Readathon Reading Vlog, okay? So what this is, guys, is I do a reading vlog and like reaction based on the rules of a Pacific readathon. So what I'm doing for this particular challenge is the series Crackdown readathon. Okay, so what this is, guys, is within 10 days, you are supposed to try and read as many books within a Pacific book series as you can. So I figured that this would be a really good challenge for me because I do have a couple of book series that I really need to get through, and this is one of them. This was highly recommended by you alternative book snobs, okay? If you're into vampire romance as much as I am, this is like the one. It apparently, from the research that I've done, like, this is the series that you are supposed to read. Besides, for me personally, the Vampire Chronicles series by Anne Rice is excellent. But guys, I have another surprise for you here. This way. Here we go. So guys, this is incredible. This is by George R.R. Martin. Who would think, guys, that the guy who created the Game of Thrones book series actually wrote a vampire book? Now, this is not vampire romance. It's called Fever Dream, and I was like, I think I should get this. You know, I'm trying to read a lot more out of my comfort zone, and this is normally a book that I would not read, but I was like, you know what, let me get it. All right, so here is some of the details of this book. So it says, Abner Marsh, a struggling riverboat captain, suspects that something's amiss when he is approached by a wealthy aristocrat with a lucrative offer. And it says, the hauntingly pale, steel-eyed Joshua York doesn't care that the icy winter of 1857 has wiped out all but one of Marsh's, it's like dilapidated fleet. Nor does he care that he won't earn back his investment in a decade. And hey, we got X Maui. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the show. And X Maui says, oh my God, I love that book. Okay, so that's good to know. Thank you so much for letting me know how you feel about it. Because a lot of times, guys, when I buy books, it's either, and this really is shallow maybe, but sometimes I'll buy a book, guys, because the cover looks really awesome, or I've read a little bit of the synapses and I'm like, this looks fucking good. But the best way, from what I have read about this book, is like, it's a classic like vampire kind of story, but it takes place more in like the 18th century, but it has a very interesting spin on it. Yeah, I am a cover stan, Maui, let me tell ya. If I see a really good engaging cover, I was just like, fuck, I gotta buy this. And the price was right too, guys. I got this off of Amazon for like $8. I was like, fuck, let me just get it. And I did, and it actually came today, so I was excited. So just wanted to show you, this is something I'm putting on my TBR, and I'm actually going to follow my TBR. See, what I did, guys, was behind this background is my bookshelves, actually. And what I did was a complete reorganization of my bookshelf to reflect my TBR. So I'm actually reading in the order of my TBR, and then on top of that, I'll be doing different readathons to apply to my organization of my TBR. So I'm doing something a little bit different. But guys, let's talk about this book right here. Alright. Guys, I don't even know where to begin. Thank you so much, Maui, for following. I appreciate it. And Maui says that my show is on fire. Yes. Okay. This show has to be on fire, right? it has to, because it's like, you know, I put a lot of energy into what I do, you know, so thank you. I appreciate the compliment. But guys, let me tell you, this book, I've been reacting to it, and man, there's a lot to take in. And guys, I was a bitch, you know. Remember I said yesterday, I was like, cliffhanger, and you know, I was leaving you guys hanging, you know, and you guys were probably like, that bitch, you know. But I actually read ahead, so let me kind of recap and then get you guys all caught up with what's been going on in Dark Lover. Okay, so last time we left off, which was yesterday, I was a bitch because we come to find out that Raft is like actually blind, and we also find out why Raft is he's very recluse. Like he has a hard time letting people in, you know, emotionally. And I'm not gonna give it all away, but you find out the real tea of what happened to his parents, and I think that attributes to why he is the way that he is. And we have Master Chef making the good food. Yes, God. All right, no, welcome. Welcome to the program. But oh my gosh, guys, like it was so intense. And then the other thing, like I was talking about yesterday, that has a really kind of interesting, oh really? Okay, well, welcome back to the program. But what's really interesting, like to give perspective here, is I was talking about, you know, having this blind, like sighted person relationship, and that was really refreshing, because a lot of times with these vampire romance stories, it's like both people are sighted people. So I thought adding like a disability like blindness, it adds a really interesting perspective to their relationship, how Raph sees Beth, and you know, and I like the fact that it's written like they have a normal, well, far from normal sometimes, but they have a normal kind of relationship, you would hope. But guys, let me get you caught up here, okay? And Master Chef's like, I'm taking notes, okay? Get them notes, okay? Because you know me, I bring them book receipts, okay? That's what we do here. But moving forward here, guys, it has been a mess, okay? So I was a bitch and I read ahead. I couldn't resist, guys. It was a cliffhanger. I was all up in my feelings and I needed to find out what happens next. And guys, then the gag of the century happens, okay? So Raph decides to go into a meditative state, which I didn't know he could do this apparently. And he gets into this meditative state, and all of a sudden he's in like a completely different world. Like it's kind of like they call it transcending is the best way I can describe it. And he ends up meeting the pretty much like, okay, so the best way I can describe this character is called the scribe version, okay? So the scribe version is the mother of all vampires. That's the best way I can describe it, like describe her. This is very similar to like Akasha in the Vampire Chronicles. For those of you who have read those books by Anne Rice, Akasha is considered the mother of all vampires. So she kind of has that similar like role in a way. That's the way I kind of perceived it. And Master Chef says, you are better than my English teacher. Well, damn, thank you. That means a lot, because a lot of times when I read these books, I may miss little details here and there, but that's what you motherfuckers are here for, okay? So if I miss something, let a bitch know, okay? But I digress. So yeah, this scribe virgin is like very similar, like Akasha being this, you know, the foundation of like the ancient vampires, okay? Because you got your newer vampires, like it's very common, guys. I noticed within like vampire history and certain vampire like literature is you have like the ancient vampires, and then you have with every generation you have different alterations of the vampire experience. So he's, you know, he's in this different, it's like a different world, and he's talking to the scribe virgin, and she's telling Raph, like, you know what, I'm really disappointed in you, and I really, like, you don't understand your position. That's pretty much what she was saying. This is a conversation they were having. Like, you don't understand your position. Like, you are the king of all vampires, and you don't want to act that way, you know? She was kind of playing a little bit of hard to get, because we all know, for those of us that have read this book, we know why he's talking to the scribe virgin is because he wants to get married to Beth, okay? Beth is the main protagonist in this book. She is a half human, half vampire, and for some reason, her and Raph have this very hot, steamy relationship, like right off the bat. Like, the chemistry was there. For some reason, maybe it's her sex appeal or something, but Beth does something to Raph, like, you know, he wants to, like, you know, throw his wig off if he wore a wig, but he has very beautiful long hair, so it's like, yes, squad. I love men with nice long hair, or even just well-conditioned hair, okay? It's like having good health insurance, all right? But all of my messiness aside, so he's, you know, he's like asking the scribe virgin, like, you know, this is my lady, and like she's just like messing with him, like, bitch, I'm not granting you that. Now, I mean, I release you from the other situation because he was with, okay, so you're like, I would say like your soulmate, no pun intended, in a way, is called a shellin, okay? So shellins, you're together, you have this ceremony, and it's permanent, and no other man can be all up on your lady, and vice versa. So what ends up happening is she releases him from the previous covenant with Marissa, but then he's asking, like, hey, I want to be with Beth, and scribe virgin is just like, bitch, what? Like, this is, you know, like, just fucking with him. That's the best way to summarize it. But then she says, okay, fine, I will grant this ceremony, this covenant between you and her, under one condition. And she doesn't go into full detail about what this condition is, but I feel that this so-called scribe virgin is up to no good. Now, the part that was also another gag of the century, guys, was that the scribe virgin is like Raph's like mother in a way, but it's very complicated, okay? So there's a lot going on. So I finished that part, and then it transitions back into the viewpoint of Mr. X, or I like to call him Mr. Asshole, because he is ruthless, guys. He has no sympathy for nobody. He doesn't even, like, sometimes I feel like he doesn't even give a shit about himself, because there's moments in the chapter that I read where he's kind of down in the dumps about himself, because see, when you become what's called a lesser is pretty much this like superhuman, well, it's not human in a way, but it's still human, you know what I mean? For those of you who are more into like paranormal, like romance and stuff, you know what I'm talking about. But Mr. X has to serve what's called the Omega. Okay, so the Omega, okay, so the lessers have the Omega, and then the vampires have the scribe virgin, okay? And these are like kind of like the overlords of both of these species of people, right? So he's kind of having these sad moments thinking about, you know, he's only a servant to the Omega. I forgot the other person, because there's an Omega and there's another person too, but I forgot. There's, as you can see, guys, I'm surprised I can't even remember all this shit, because there's so much going on in this motherfucking book, okay? So that's where we're at now. So we're going to start, well, I'll start reacting to chapter 41, and we'll see how far we'll go. But I think I'm going to split this up into 3 parts, because what I've been kind of realizing is people really don't like watching super long episodes anymore. So I'll try to keep it either to like an hour and a half or 2 hours max. So that's what we're going to do today. So I got some new headphones for this, because I needed something a little bit more lighter weight. And, you know, they just fit in my ears like fucking perfectly. And we'll get started here. All right. All right. So things are getting good. So we're at the part now where Mr. X pretty much like seduced like, well, no, he didn't seduce. It felt like that reading it, but Mr. X ended up using mind control, which I didn't know he had this ability, but he ends up using mind control on Billy Riddle. Now, Billy Riddle, if you remember in the beginning of the book, he was that asshole with his other guy friends that tried to, you know, attack Beth. But Beth is a strong ass bitch, and she was like, no bitch, we're not having that, okay? So he's done mind control, and he pretty much tells he tells Billy through mind control that, you know, you're gonna tell your father that you are leaving because you got a better job and he cannot get in touch with you. So it seems, and this is just my prediction, that Billy is going to join the ranks of becoming a lesser, and I think there's gonna be a showdown between him and Raft, or him and Butch. Oh, and speaking of that, guys, it seems that Butch has a new woman in his life, which is Raft's ex-Shellin, the drama, okay, Marissa. So for some weird reason, Marissa is very attracted to Butch, but Havers is Marissa's brother, and what ended up happening is, for some reason, Marissa can't explain why, but she is really attracted to Butch, and Butch is really attracted to her, because I mean, she is stunned, okay? She is stunning. So I can see why there is an attraction there, but she's a vampire, he's a human, and usually in this particular universe, vampires just keep to themselves because they just don't want to deal with the fuck shit that can come with humans knowing who they are. It gets really complicated really quick. But I'm kind of glad that Marissa sees something in Butch, though, because Butch is sexy, yo. He's very sexy. Like, I would go for Butch, but I can see why Marissa is kind of like hesitating a little bit, because she has this conversation with Havers, and Havers is like, the fuck, like, where have you been? And she wanted to like tell him everything, but I think it was good that she kind of like did not do that, because I feel like Havers would go after Butch and try to kill him because of him being human. But Marissa makes a very big mistake, guys. She does something that's called dematerializing, and what dematerializing is it's a vampire ability to pretty much like disappear into particles and move through like the air and stuff like that. So that's what she did in front of Butch. So Butch is like, the fuck, like what happened? And then what ends up happening is that Beth has to explain that, oh hey, by the way, like I'm a vampire now. And she allows Butch to touch her fangs, and he's like, well fuck, you know, like this is a lot for me to like contain. But the thing that was funny though is usually when that happens, like, wouldn't you be scared? Like, whoa, these are fucking vampires, you know? But he was like totally like, he kind of got over it a little bit too quickly. Oh my gosh, we have EDU. Welcome to the show. And EDU says, am I Booker T's wife? So I can tell you are definitely a pro wrestling fan like myself. I do love pro wrestling as well. No, I am not Booker T's wife. Booker T's wife is actually Charmel. You may have known her as Queen Charmel when they were kind of like a little mini faction together. I do respect Booker T because during a time where the WWE was not really fully respecting wrestlers of color, he won multiple championships in the WWE, and I do like the Queen Charmel gimmick. And actually, I believe, yeah, he actually has a wrestling school as well, and yeah, he has a promotion as well, which is pretty cool. And thanks so much, guys, for following EDU and Gracia. There we go. Thank you. And Gracia says, I love you because you know that. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, it says, you are my God. I am no Seth Rollins. I am not the Monday Night Messiah. I'll leave it to God to be God. I'm not trying to get struck by lightning, guys, okay? But all jokes aside, yeah, so Charmel is actually married to Booker T. But guys, you know what the real pro wrestling tea is, though, in my opinion? Is that fuck shit that happened on SmackDown a couple of days ago to fucking Naomi. And guys, you know what ended up happening? Because, you know, Naomi's got some serious fans, like so many people. And it's understandable because she is a very talented wrestler. And I don't know what the fuck the WWE is not utilizing her. I mean, last time I checked, if you have a wrestler that has a very big, prominent fan base, wouldn't you capitalize to use them more? You know what I mean? But the fans, guys, like, things are kind of changing because I have never seen an uproar so much for a black female wrestler in the WWE. Like, I've never, ever. And I've been watching pro wrestling for a very, very, very long time. And this was the first time that I've seen this volume of outrage. So I hope the WWE listens and utilizes Naomi because she was, her championship run was amazing as women's champion, was great, you know. But I don't think she's had a chance, just like Bianca Belair. I think Bianca Belair is completely underrated as well. So, oh, you like The Undertaker? Hey, we got Jenny. What's up? What's up? And what's my take on AEW? Okay, so this is how I feel about AEW, okay? Side tangent. AEW, guys, is the equivalent of like WCW. If you have watched like classic WCW matches, that's how WCW was like a brand. See, AEW, what they're trying to do is kind of bring back the older form of wrestling that was founded mainly in the 80s and the 90s. By the time the 2000s came, it became more full-blown sports entertainment, because during the Attitude Era, as they call it, this was during the 90s, there was a mixture, and this is just from the research that I have done, there was a mixture of storyline and a lot of really shitty gimmicky stuff. Now there were people like Lita, Trish Stratus, Jacqueline, Ivory, and Molly Holly that really helped to define, and Victoria too, I can't forget Victoria, but there were many others that kind of helped to redefine the women's division, because prior to that, guys, in the Attitude Era, nobody gave a fuck. Okay, honestly, as much as people don't want to give her props, Sable was also part of that, because yeah, she was focused more on her sex appeal, but she still had a lot better wrestling ability than some of the valets at the time. Okay, oh, Edie, you're making me laugh so much. I haven't had a chance to watch any of like the Lucha Libre and stuff, because that's a whole, because see, what people don't understand about pro wrestling is there's so many different styles of pro wrestling, and you kind of have to watch them differently. Like there's this kind of stereotype from like people that are looking from the outside in regards to pro wrestling, that it's just, oh, pro wrestling is just pro wrestling, you know, and it's fake. And it's like, well, okay, fine, yes, it's sports entertainment, but it depends on what type of wrestling that you're watching. If you're watching like, you know, a New Japan Pro, if you're watching like Shimmer, you know, I mean, these wrestlers really, like, they be putting their lives on the line. Now, one of my favorite wrestlers that has stood out in the last couple of years is fucking Su Yung. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed with her. She is phenomenal. Why the WWE has not signed her, this bitch, I don't understand. She does things. And don't get me wrong, I completely understand why they signed Scarlett Bordeaux. You know, she is also a great wrestler, and guys, she's an intergender wrestler as well. But why she got signed to the WWE just to be a valet? It's kind of shitty, because she actually can wrestle, and she has a great gimmick, you know. But the way that they're trying to utilize her, like she's this mystical, like, creature, like, you know what I mean, like she's like the female version of the fucking Fiend. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't, you know. And I love Karrion Kross is like, yes, squad, okay. And I love Drew McIntyre. I'm like in love with him. he's phenomenal. It took him 19 fucking years, guys, to finally win the WWE championship. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? Now, he did have a prior title run in NXT, and he also was Intercontinental Champion for a while. Then he got put into that really stupid, like guy band gimmick. It was fucking stupid. But yeah, I tend to watch a lot more women's wrestling, though, because that's just what I watch a lot of. But I really prefer the independent over the mainstream stuff, because WWE is not listening to their fucking audience. They listen ever so often when it's convenient, but that's where AEW really shines, guys, because for example, if you're into women's pro wrestling, they have what's called AEW Heels, which is a way of getting all of the female pro wrestling fans together with the actual talent. It's wonderful. Fucking yes. And yeah, Burrow de Shrek versus Angel Garza. Oh my gosh, that would be an interesting match at WrestleMania. I like Angel Garza. At first I didn't like him, but he kind of reminds me a little bit, him and Andrade, they really reminisce that Eddie Guerrero for me a little bit. No one will ever replace the charisma and talent of, oh, I miss him so much. But I'll give props to Selena Vega, because managers are coming back, and they're coming back strong. Also, props to Robert Stone. Oh my gosh, I love Robert Stone. Oh my gosh, I love wrestling, guys. Maybe we'll do a day where I just talk about fucking wrestling, because that's my shit. And Jenny says the WWE doesn't utilize a lot of their talent. Yeah, they have a fucking huge ass roster. Okay, that's why I don't blame Sarah Logan for being like, you know what, I'm just taking a break from wrestling. Because guys, here's the thing about wrestling that a lot of people don't know. It's literally your fucking life. Like, you don't really have, like, how wrestlers have relationships blows my fucking mind. Because literally, what, they get like 10 days off if they're lucky of the 365 days? And sometimes less than that, you know? But props to Asuka. Like, I like watching a lot of what they call Joshi wrestlers. I love people like Hikaru Shida. I love Kairi Sane, guys. Like, I have such a soft spot for Kairi Sane. She is like one of the best female wrestlers, guys, in the world. Like, people do not realize how talented this woman is. And for her size, the shit that she does is like crazy. It's like super crazy. But yeah, Kairi Sane, completely underrated. And as much as I love Asuka, I think that's the reason why she hasn't been given as much of a push, is because Kairi Sane is literally living under the shadow of Asuka. And now with Asuka being Raw Women's Champion, yeah, it's really sad. And I feel the same way about Bianca Belair and Naomi. Like, these are some really talented women, but and Bianca has the charisma and she's got a great gimmick, you know. But and getting back into it, like what I think of AEW, that's really what AEW is trying to represent. They're trying to bring back the older style of wrestling with some modern elements. Like, I fucking love Kenny Omega, guys. Oh my gosh, I live for him, because he really embodies like American style wrestling with more of the Japanese style. He still wrestles in Japan and he's really good. He's really good. Won multiple championships over there. But that's the key, guys, to having a good luxurious wrestling career, is you got to pick up different wrestling styles. Like, you have to. Like, to me, I feel it's essential for pro wrestlers to go to South America, to go to Japan, to go to Europe, because everywhere has different wrestling style. American wrestling is great, but it's not the only style that you can do. And actually, and you know what I found out too, guys, is that when you apply for the WWE, let's say that's where you want to be, you actually have to have other talents besides being a good wrestler. Because, see, gone are the days. See, that's what AEW kind of represents, is they're focusing a lot more on the wrestling than the actual storylines. Because, like, sometimes in AEW, they have a good storyline going and then it just kind of dips off and you're like, the fuck? But they're just focusing on the wrestling. And the title holding matches and stuff, whereas WWE, it's more elongated. It's supposed to be, honestly, the best way I described WWE for a very long time, it was described as like a soap opera, like a sports soap opera. That's really what the WWE is. It's just recently, I would say in the last 5 to 8 years, they're starting to kind of shift back into the athleticism. But to really be a superstar in the WWE, in my opinion, you have to give good promos. Promos are essential. That's how the audience like gravitates towards you, you know? That's how you suck them in. That's why I like heel characters, because heel characters really run the show if you think about it. Because if you have too many faces, it doesn't create good storylines. You have to have an antithesis, you know? Like, and you have to have someone being the antagonizer to make the baby face look good. That's why it's tough to be a heel character. Some people naturally have it, other people don't. Some people, you know, I don't know, if you're like The Undertaker and you're just like, you know, fucking good at everything, you know, then you can kind of be more of like a switch and you can flip back and forth. Or Shawn Michaels. Like, that's an example too, where he could, you know, be really good face, but man, he had that douchebag character down. You know, like, he had that natural asshole kind of, you know, but he's really a nice person. Like, and that's what also people who make really good heels sometimes are like the nicest fucking people. Like, as much as people hate King Corbin, like, out of character, he's actually really nice, you know? But that's when you know you're good at what you do, is when people hate to love you. Like Lana, as much as Lana, she cannot wrestle for shit. That's just me personally. But her personality is wonderful. Like, I love it. That's why people love to hate her, you know? Yeah, but yeah, that's how I feel about AEW overall. Is they're doing good programming. The only thing they really need to work on is improving the women's division, because damn, they have people like Nyla Rose, fucking Penelope. Oh my gosh, guys, I love Penelope Ford. That Kip Sabian, I don't blame her, okay? Like, I would marry that too, bitch. Like, get your life. He's fine, okay? But yeah, Penelope Ford, Hikaru Shida, Riho, they have all these really interesting, you know, female talent. The men's division is fine, okay? They're doing well there, you know? But it's just AEW's problem is the women's division. Like, if they could really fix that and maybe bring in some like former like female wrestlers that are retired or something to build that division better, oh my gosh, I would be watching AEW over WWE. And I kind of go back and forth. And Jenny says Kenny Omega's yeah, he's fucking sexy, yo, like, for real. And he knows it too, man. I'm sure women hit on him all the time, like, you know. He's like, I'm Kenny Omega. Oh my gosh, like, my clothes are melting. Yeah, but I don't know. See, for me, like, I find pro wrestlers attractive. I do. But that's got to be tough to be, like, in a relationship with a pro wrestler or married to one. Because it's like, you know, you got all these women and, you know, men or whoever is attracted to them. And, you know, wherever you go, people are constantly asking for autographs. People are constantly, you know, that kind of thing. So that has to be tough. And we have Koi, welcome to the show. And of course, Koi is bringing that stone cold stunner to anybody and everybody. See, you sound just like, what's his fucking name? Moxley. I always forget his name. But yeah, you sound like him. He's like, he never turns his back for anyone. Like, oh man. And Koi says, I would be like, it's always nice to meet a fan. That's how Drew McIntyre is, guys. I actually watched, like, it was a little mini documentary on him, and like fans would come up to him and be like, man, I love you, Drew. Like, that's me being a stereotypical pro wrestling fan. Man, you're the greatest, you know, you're my hero. And sign my belt. He was really cool. He's like, hey, thanks, man. And like his whole, you know, country of Scotland is very proud of him. Like, actually, it was so funny. Someone sent him like a video of people reacting to him winning the championship, and they were like, oh shit, like, that's so cool, man. I fucking love Scotland, guys. And you know what I also found out about Scotland, which made me really happy, is that some Scottish men actually have a thing for black women. So I'm gonna move to Scotland. That's not the only reason, but damn, I was so excited about that. I was like, I feel loved. Oh my gosh. And oh, the Nim, hey, welcome to the program. And Nim says, pro wrestlers, too much drama, too much muscle. You kind of right about that, but not all pro wrestlers are dramatic. See, the thing that makes pro wrestling a lot of drama, though, let's just keep it real. Part of it is the dedicated fan base, okay? And then the other part of it is, it's kind of like the things that come with being famous, okay? People love to hate you, or people want to see you fail. You know, people have an opinion on everything you do. I mean, you drink water and there's someone telling you like, motherfucker, you don't know how to drink water right. It's like, the fuck? You know, and whatever you wear, people are just judging you. Like, for example, a person I think goes through hell is Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks, guys, phenomenal wrestler. She trained in Japan actually recently, and she works really well with Joshi wrestlers. Joshi wrestlers are Japanese female wrestlers, guys. Just for those of you who are not into pro wrestling. So like a lot of times I like when she'll put on a really nice outfit, and like you just look at the comment section, they're like, oh, look at fucking Sasha Banks, man, she's so fucking ugly, like why would she fucking dye her hair like that, nah, 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 nah. So you're dealing with that too. So sometimes I don't blame some pro wrestlers for kind of putting on a little bit of a douchey personality. They're just trying to protect themselves, you know. But a lot of pro wrestlers are really nice. Like there's this kind of stereotype about, you know, like sometimes people take their character to be their actual personality, and this is where we always have to remember that pro wrestlers are people. Okay, like they're people. You know. So as you can see, guys, I love pro wrestling a lot. But yeah, there is some drama in pro wrestling. I also I have another show that's called the Curvy Metalhead Show. And I do like recaps for pro wrestling stuff, and yeah, there's so much drama, and I feel bad for a lot of pro wrestlers because a lot of them deal with things like depression or drinking problems and all kinds of shit, and it's just because it's like, you know, you have this pressure, you got to perform all the time 110%, you know, because you don't want to let people down. And then secondly, you're constantly in the gym, you're constantly training. So to really be a pro wrestler, guys, it's a lifestyle. You really have to commit to it. And then it gets more complex when you are in a relationship with someone, because that person has to respect that it's like, oh, hey, I'll see you later, honey, I gotta go lift weights, you know, or I gotta go, you know, do something, or I gotta go check, you know, go to the doctor to make sure I'm cleared to wrestle and things like that. And then depending on what type of wrestler you are, like Su Yung, for example, guys, there was a match that I watched of hers. It was probably the most intense, hardcore match, because this is a thing that's becoming more popular now, is women doing like extreme hardcore matches. And I mean, she was like just bleeding, and her opponent was bleeding too. And I was like, the fuck? I was like, this is great, but damn, she must be hurting by the end of that shit, you know. And Koi says 300 days on the road. Yeah, it's a lot, you know. I mean, a vacation for you is when you're like off because you got injured, you know. Like, you know, it's tough, and it just takes one wrong bump or kick and your career is over. Like, look what happened with Ember Moon. Like, hopefully her career is not over. Like, she fucked up her Achilles heel. Like, that fucking sucked. And she just got really started in the women's division, and I thought she was going to really like dominate like Beth Phoenix or someone like that for a while. I also like Shayna Baszler as much as like, now this is the tea, okay, before we get into it here. I think the reason why okay, let me turn these off. Okay, there we go. I think the reason why people don't like Shayna Baszler, to be honest, let me take these off, guys. I'm gonna like charge these while we're talking here. Because I don't want these to, don't want the battery to die. That would suck. Okay, there we go. Alright, thank you so much, Koi, for the follow. I appreciate that. Alright, let me let these charge while we're talking some pro wrestling. See, it's very rare I get to talk about pro wrestling like this, because a lot of times when people find out you like pro wrestling, they're like, you're fucking weird. I mean, that's not even real wrestling. Like, what the fuck? You know, and it's just like, no, bitch. Like, if you have to jump off of a steel cage, you gonna feel it, okay? Which I would not fucking do. Or, you know, if you're like fucking Su Yung and, you know, getting, you know, beating getting beat with a fucking kendo stick and shit. It's like, what? I'm like, that's crazy. That is so crazy. And of course, Kurt Angle, yes. And yeah, I do like wrestling a lot, but it's much more complex than, you know, more of the older form of wrestling. I mean, you know, now, you know, you got people like, you know, doing multiple somersault, you know, Ricochet shit. Ricochet is another one that the WWE is not utilizing. Why? I mean, he could have had an probably Intercontinental, or let's say they bring back, or the 24/7 championship or something fun like that. He's really good. He's really, really good. But I just think he's too good. And that's a problem WWE has too, is sometimes if you're too good at what you do, then they don't have a storyline for you, which doesn't make any fucking sense. You know, and then of course we have the Nia Jax situation too, where I feel like Nia Jax would really make. I mean, she's supposed to be a heel character, but like, they just don't know how to use her. Another person too would be Tamina. Sad. Like, she's really good. She's really good. Oh, you were raised on pro wrestling? Yeah, I've been watching pro wrestling for a long time. And Koi says, haters gonna hate. Yeah, that's true, but it just sucks being hated all the time. How I know this is because I deal with this shit all the time. Like, man. Oh, Jetty. Okay, there we go. But yeah, and Koi says that man is dope. Yeah, Ricochet is the shit, man. But it's just sad. I think he would do better in AEW. Especially, or like a cruiserweight division. I think he would do a way better. Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad that some wrestlers just don't get their, like, that's what I was saying. It took Drew McIntyre 19 fucking years with the talent that he had to leave the company, guys. Go to, at the time, now it's Impact Wrestling, but it's called, well, at the time, TNA. Before WWE's like, oh, this man's really talented. The fuck? Like, you know what I mean? But sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to, like, leave for people to appreciate the talent that you have. But to really be a wrestler, guys, is not only being a good wrestler. You got to have good promos. As much as people love or hate Paul Heyman, the guy fucking knows wrestling, man. And promos are essential. You know, if people really get invested in your character and you have good wrestling ability, perfect package, you know, and you're going to be in demand. Just like Kari saying, Asuka is a perfect example of that. As much as people love her or hate her, fucking Shayna Baszler, you know, if she gets the right type of push, she would be a badass. I could see her being like the female version of Brock Lesnar. Honestly, because she has that type of charisma. Who else? Really, freaking Nikki Cross. Like, she's finally kind of getting a push. Alexa Bliss sucks as a babyface. She needs to go back to heel. She really needs to go back to heel, y'all. She really needs to, because she is, she looks uncomfortable being a babyface. Some people just need to be a heel and just stay that way. Just stay that way, you know? It's just, yeah, her as babyface is not good. Not good at all. And Rikishi, yeah, Rikishi was the man. Oh man, I watched the match when he went heel and I was like, oh, it was such a gag. But that whole too cool thing was kind of annoying though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just like, but I think my favorite tag team, well, I have a couple. I like The Brood with Gangrel, of course. Then they actually did The Brood 2.0 with the Hardy Boys, and I was just like, nah. It did not work. They were not, I mean, don't get me wrong, they are alternative, but they were not alternative enough. you know, they didn't really have that vampiric edge, you know, like, haha, see? Got that joke, guys? I fucking love Edge. Edge is sexy as fuck, yo. I don't blame Beth Phoenix for, like, smashing that, for real. Like, I don't blame her. And I was actually, I checked out a video of how they got together. It's really cute, guys. But like I said, that's gotta, like, if you're not into pro wrestling, you know, and there are people that are not into pro wrestling, but they're married to pro wrestlers. Like, it's a change of lifestyle, you know, because they're constantly traveling, and you got autograph signings, other show appearances, and it's a lot of work, okay? Like, it's a lot of work, and you have to be committed to it. If you're not committed to it, you're wasting your time. And then you gotta get trained properly too, because you gotta know how to take bumps and things like that. But yeah, I mean, your career can end just like that, you know, just from one mistake. It couldn't be, it's not always your fault. It could be your opponent, and they do their finisher wrong. And yeah, there's a lot of injuries. And like, dude, Mick Foley, legend. But man, I actually have his one of his books, and I was reading, and I was like, the amount of injuries this man has. I should read. I'll do that, guys. I'll read some of my pro wrestling books and do reviews on them and stuff. Because I do like Mick Foley. He, like, him and Raven, Sandman, you know. I tend to like a lot more classic, the older wrestlers and stuff. Don't get me wrong, the newer wrestlers are awesome, but it's just, it's different. You know what I mean? Oh, another person who does not get their props, guys, fucking Jerry Lynn. Okay, Jerry Lynn, quintessential. If you're really into wrestling and you want to see like a cruiserweight, really cruiserweight action, fucking yeah, Jerry Lynn, phenomenal wrestler. I think the WWE should have him as a coach for the developmental center, because he underrated, like seriously underrated. But that's just me personally. Oh, and Jenny's asking me who's my favorite old school wrestler. Okay, well, we got legend, of course. Undertaker, definitely. You know, I mean, any man that wants to wrestle until he dies like that, I mean, that's commitment, man. I hope he would retire soon. As much as I love him, I love the Undertaker, phenomenal, but it's just time. You know, I mean, if you guys have a chance, watch Undertaker: The Last Ride. It's kind of like, it's like a miniature documentary on like how it's like to be Mark Calloway. Yeah, he's been through a lot, guys. Like they actually show like the surgery he had on his I think it was on his hip or some shit. It was, he has put his body through a lot. So I think it's just time. And I mean, he could still work for the WWE. I think once again, he would be a great like trainer. Absolutely. You know, I think he's just that type of guy that's just like wrestling is like a part of his life. But yeah, it's a really good, if you want to see a really good wrestling documentary, in my opinion, Undertaker: Last Ride was really good. And yeah, he's in his actually he's in his 50s, like mid 50s last time I checked. But yeah, it's just time. Like once you get to like 50 or something like that, unless you know you really have that stamina, it shows in the ring. It really does. It shows. And there are exceptions to the rule, but like if I was a wrestler, guys, honestly, I would retire at like 40. I seriously would, because it's just like, okay, I've done what I've wanted to do, and it's time for the next generation to come in and do their thing. You know, because I just don't want to be like, you know, for example, you know, as much as I respect Mick Foley, you know, he's beaten and battered, man. Like, yeah. And that's what I thought too. But yeah, he's like 55 or so. Yeah. But that's just what happens, man. When your body, you know, you've been put through multiple tables, you've been hit with chairs, or you know, you're someone like fucking Mick Foley, and like, you know, you get a choke slam through a steel cage. The match he had with the Undertaker, oh my gosh, that steel cage match, crazy as hell, crazy. You know, getting, you know, pile drive through, you know, or pedigree through with thumbtacks and shit like that. I mean, over time, it's going to wear your body down. It's going to wear your body down, and then you have to ask yourself that question. You know, like Edge, he's got a couple more years in him, just a couple more, but he should also, you know, hang up the boots too, you know. And especially once you start having a family, you have a significant other, like these are things you have to think about, you know, because the more, especially when you're getting older, the more you wrestle, that's the more strain you're putting on your body, you know. And yeah, there are people that are, you know, not human in my opinion. But you can only wrestle for so long, and this is why it's important for wrestlers to do other things outside of wrestling. If you've noticed recently, guys, a lot of wrestlers have YouTube channels and podcasts, or they're getting their own like shows too on television. You gotta do that, you know, because what happens to some wrestlers is, you know, they just kind of focus just on their wrestling career, and then once it's time for them to retire, they have nothing. So that's what I would do. Like if I did pro wrestling, I would do it for a while. Maybe I would still be in the business part-time to like help and stuff, you know, help the next generation or something like that. But you know, I would do that, like have my own YouTube channel, have a podcast, have a show, you know, maybe have like merchandise, things like that, you know, so that you can at least keep yourself still kind of relevant in a way. But you know, you have to know when to retire, and I think with the Undertaker, it's really time. But it's up to him, you know, it's just my opinion. But when I saw the way that, you know, he looked really sad when he did the match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33, that was not a good match, you know. And even himself, if you watch the documentary, he was like, yeah, this is not good. So, you know, you just have to know when you need to retire, you know. It's, some people are stubborn, you know, but to me, when it comes to wrestling, I would retire at 40. That's just me. You know, maybe I would be a commentator like Samoa Joe, man. He is really killing it with the commentary. He's like probably the only reason why I give a shit to watch Raw and stuff is because of him. I don't watch SmackDown because SmackDown is stupid now and is super gimmicky, you know, and yeah. A lot going on, okay? So yay, we did some wrestling talk. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get to the reading here. But yeah, if you guys ever want to talk about pro wrestling, let me know, and maybe that's something I'll do here, who knows. But yeah, I like wrestling, I do. But yeah, my favorite though, I do like, you know, Ric Flair, of course. Charlotte Flair, I gotta give her props. She's not my favorite of female wrestlers, but she is very talented. That's why people love to hate her. I don't like Bayley. I know I'm gonna get shit for that because Bayley, oh my gosh, the stands of Bayley, oh my end. But I'm not a fan of Bayley. I just, you know, I mean, she's a decent wrestler, but like, she's just, to me, you know, oh, I got 2 belts. It's like, all right, congratulations, you know, like, I'm just kind of over it. There's so many other female wrestlers on the roster that are just as, you know, decent as her or even more, you know. And then Natalya, I love Natalya, but they don't know how to utilize her. Like, they don't. And she's probably one of, like, I mean, there are a couple of veterans, you know. You have, yeah, like Natalya, you have Tamina, and so on and so forth, and they're not really getting used, you know. Yeah, it's sad. And Jenny says, I never got over, or I never got the whole Bailey gimmick. Yeah, like at first she's all like, hugs for everyone. And she's like, fuck your friends, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong. Her heel gimmick is actually working because people love to hate Bailey, right? But it's just, to me, I think it's just because she's held the titles for so long, it's just become kind of boring. But her heel character work is actually good compared to where she was in the beginning, where she was like all socially awkward with it. She actually has improved. Like her and Sasha Banks, yeah, they're good at what they do. But I've just never really liked Bailey at all. And I felt bad for her actually, because that hug gimmick is kind of done, like kind of dumb if you really think about it. Like she's a woman and she's looking ridiculous like that. I don't blame her for cutting her hair and wanting to, you know, do a different character. But yeah, I just never got into Bailey too much. Never. But Seth Rollins, though, he's popping. Like, at first, I didn't care for him. I don't like his finisher. That stomp is so stupid. That stomp move is so stupid, yo. It is. He's a really good wrestler. Like, he has much better finishers than that shit. Like, but yeah, his heel gimmick is good. I think I like him more as a heel than a face, actually. Like, it is good. Like, this whole Monday Night Messiah and his like disciples, that shit is perfect, yo. Like, it is perfect. Murphy is actually a really good wrestler. People just don't really give him props like that. And what's his name? Austin, is it? Oh yeah, Austin Theory is sexy as fuck, I just gotta say. So it's great that he joined that faction, because it didn't make sense to me that they had him with Andrade and Angel Garza. That they just looked awkward, you know, as a faction, you know. But once again, props to Zelina Vega. And guys, I didn't know that Zelina Vega was married to Aleister Black. I was like, what? I did not know that. I did not know they were together. I just read that. I was like, oh shit, like, that's cool. And I love Aleister Black, man, because you guys know I'm a metalhead, so it's like, obviously I should like Aleister Black. Yeah, he be bringing them kicks, man. He be bringing them kicks. But yeah, his gimmick is perfect. It's perfect. His entrance, you know, and all that shit, that's great. You know, the smoke and the, you know, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But yeah, as you can see, guys, I'm really into wrestling. Oh yeah, Koi mentioned Kurt Angle, one of the greatest pro wrestlers, top 10 in the WWE. Okay, as much as people hate his guts sometimes, you gotta give props to the man. He is a good technical wrestler. Okay, he gave that angle slam perfect every time, ankle locked perfect every time, you know, sold it. They face emotions and stuff. I actually prefer Kurt Angle as a heel, though. He was annoying as a face, though. And I love when people would be like, you suck, like, it's, yeah, he's the complete package, man. You know, great gimmick, great character work, like, yeah, you know. It's just like with The Rock too. As much as people give Dwayne Johnson a lot of crap, give props to where props is due. Okay, like, great character work. I used to love when he would call Michael Cole a jabroni or anybody a jabroni, or he would like put a shirt over him and be like, shut your mouth, you know, like you know, that's good character work, you know. You're like rooting for them, but then when they turn heel, you're still rooting for them, you know. Or they get booed sometimes, but it's like, boo, yay, you know. So yeah, it's just different. Like, the new generation of wrestlers in the WWE, it's just not the same feeling. So that's why I've been watching a lot more AEW, because it has a lot more of that Attitude Era. Don't get me wrong, AEW has their problems. The women's division could be better. They need to continue storylines. They shouldn't just die off at random and there's no like explanation. I'm glad that I love Brandy Rhodes. Actually, I'm glad that her wrestling skill is getting a little bit better, because she wasn't good in the beginning. But yeah, and I love seeing interracial couple on television. That's refreshing too, because you like in the WWE, it's very rare. I mean, yeah, you have. Oh, I like Tajiri. Since Jenny was asking me who my favorite old school wrestler, Tajiri, awesome. He's phenomenal. But yeah, you don't really see a lot of interracial couples like that, like being paired together like that. So that's cool. So I like that. Seeing Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, who else? Yeah, television wise, you had Tajiri. This is old school. Like Tajiri and Tori Wilson. There were a couple. There was one in NXT with Alicia Fox is actually a good wrestler too, but people don't give her props either. Yeah, when minority wrestlers don't really get a lot of props in the WWE, to be honest. I mean, I was surprised that Jacqueline got inducted a couple of years ago in the WWE Hall of Fame, because, guys, she became the first, it took that long, the first African American woman to win at that time the WWE Women's Championship, and look how long it took for Naomi to win it. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. The other thing that WWE has not accomplished either is having, just from my research, I might be wrong, a African American female tag team to win the tag team championships. That would make history as well. When is Naomi and Bianca Belair becoming a tag team? Because if you notice recently, they're kind of forming tag teams and stuff. They're trying to like revitalize the women's tag team division. I mean, yeah, you have Sasha and Bailey, and then there was now for some strange reason Lana is pairing up with Natalia. Like, the fuck. Kind of interesting. And then you have, of course, I feel bad for what's her name, Liv. I forgot her name now, but Liv. I feel bad for her too, because Liv is actually really talented. Her wrestling has improved. I was very surprised. She was part of the Riot Squad with Ruby Riot and Sarah Logan, which was cool. But yeah, she never really got the push that she needed. And then they did this weird thing with her gimmick. So it's like, okay, who the fuck is Liv? You know what I mean? Like, she should have been partnered up. Everybody kept saying that. But yeah, Liv should have been put with the Wyatt family. Okay. That would have been perfect. She could have played Sister Abigail perfectly. Like, perfectly. Okay. But that's just me. So you have Liv and like Ruby Riot kind of partnering up again. Like, they're trying to build that storyline. And of course you have Asuka and Kairi Sane. They're like, to me, one of the top tag teams. And I can't forget the Iconics. Their comeback was not really a comeback, because they were like taken off of television to get repackaged. And then they just came back the same, and I was like, okay. But I'm invested, guys. I'm a wrestling stan. But I mean, if I could pick right now between watching AEW, WWE, honestly, I would rather watch AEW. The only reason why I watch WWE is for either the commentary coming from Samoa Joe. He has such good metaphors and stuff. Drew McIntyre, okay, that's the only other reason why I watch. Asuka, the women's division. Lacey Evans, I gotta give her props. She's phenomenal too. She has improved greatly. Like, she's a very nice, wholesome kind of person too, because I was watching her on Lana's YouTube channel, and she gave this bomb ass, like, guys, the makeup tutorial that she did with Lana, it was wonderful. And guys, she looks so different. This is no shade, but she looks so different without makeup. It's like she looks like a completely different person. Like, it's just like myself. When I take all my makeup off, I look like a completely different person. Like what I do is kind of a transformation on my face. But yeah, guys, that was the wrestling talk. Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to what you all are probably here for, besides me indulging in pro wrestling. We'll have to do this, guys, maybe once a month. We just kind of like talk about pro wrestling because there's so much shit going on. There's a lot more all women's promotions too. There's one in London, guys. I gotta give a shout out. They're called Riot Girls of Wrestling. They're also known as Eve. Fucking phenomenal women's wrestling. If you like women's wrestling and you want to see some really good matches, I'm talking Su Yung and like Session Goth and like amazing wrestling. Like if you're into women's wrestling, check out that. Also, I like another promotion that's called Rise, and one of my favorite wrestlers on there, she is amazing. The gimmick is legendary. Her name is Double D, and guys, she wrestles with one eye. She had to have her eye removed, and she can wrestle with one eye. Incredible, the stuff that she does. And she's phenomenal. Like super talented. But yeah, that's just my views on it, guys. So let's get back into this reaction. All right, let me get these headphones out, and then I actually got these guys off of Amazon. These things are cool. They're kind of like rubber ear covers, and they fit perfectly, because what happens when you have these kind of like earbud headphones is like I have like a weird shape to my ear, so they don't stay in place. But ever since I just got these today, I bought them off of Amazon. These things actually stay in place, and they're wonderful. So I can just like put it, and it grips to my ear so it doesn't fall out. It's pretty cool. All right, let me get this music back on, damn it. All right, there we go. I'll put these back on. The only thing that sucks though is if you need to charge your earbuds, then you have to take them off and then put them back on, which kind of sucks. All right. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to find where I'm at here. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to go back a little bit. So we're on chapter 41, guys, so that's where we're at. I still can't believe that Marissa was attracted to I mean, I could see it, but I was not expecting that. That was a curveball to see her being attracted to Butch, though. That was a curveball. I was like, wow. Sorry guys, I'm trying to find my place here. Alright, I'll be right back here. Okay guys, sorry about that. I lost my place. I was like, the fuck? Alright, there we go. Yeah, I totally lost my place. I was like, wait. I was like, where am I? I went ahead a little bit, then I went back. I was like, oh no, too far. But now I am back where I need to be. All right, so we're on finally chapter 41 here. So we got a little more to go. So I'll try to see how much I can read here, guys. I think I'm gonna go over a little bit. Fuck it. All right, guys, let's do this. Woo! Okay, this is hilarious to me. Like, every other chapter is like Raph and Beth in bed. Like, I was like, do they have other things they need to do? I mean, don't get me wrong. When you love someone, you want to smash them all the time, right? But it's still like, how do they have all this free time to be having all this sex? I'm just like, this is not normal, yo. Unless it's like a quickie or something. But I just thought that was funny. Yep, here we go. We got another sex scene here. Oh, never mind. Aww. Ooh. Yo. Yo. Like, Beth is mad thirsty for Raph, yo. I mean, you just went through. Okay, so another thing, Beth went through her transformation and is now a full-fledged vampire. The only thing is, though, I'm wondering if she would be able to go out in the daytime since she's still part human. So that's why I was kind of wondering. I'm like, you know. But in this, I mean, they say she's like, you know, a vampire now. So I'm thinking maybe her human side is gone, but we'll see. But yeah, I love this line. She's like, I'm more than ready for you. She's always ready. And I'm just like, you just went through a transformation. Okay, fangs come up in your mouth and you're aching and all this stuff. And then you want to smash Raph? Like, what is going on here? And EDU says that Brock Lesnar defeated Undertaker at WrestleMania. And we got a lot of pro wrestling fans. And of course, Gracie is like, stop talking about vampires, please. You have come to the wrong show, okay? Because we talk about vampires here all the time. You know why? Because vampires are powerful. Vampires are sexy. They're confident. And I love them. And there's nothing wrong talking about vampires. Okay? Nothing wrong. Like, if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's what we do here. I specialize in talking about vampire romance books. Well, it's part of it. So, you know, I hate when people tell me like, no, you should do this, do that with your show. It's like, do your own show. You know, then you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's just, come on. And Fur is asking, welcome to the show. Let's see, Triple H. Yeah, I like him. I do. like I can see why he and Stephanie got together. I mean, come on, guys. Like when you like if you okay, so a big portion I would say that I liked watching is the like the matches that I've watched is the it's called the McMahon Hemsley era. A lot of people kind of are split with this particular era of the WWE. I like it because it was a fun storyline, you know, but you could see that chemistry between them. I mean, there's like one match I was watching where he actually like kissed her, and you could tell that wasn't just like a acting kiss. Like he put them lips on, okay? He put this lips on, okay? That's a good question. Fur is asking if Batman is a vampire. I would say so, because I mean the way Bruce Wayne acts is kind of vampiric if you think about it. But if you really learn the origins of Batman, okay, I don't blame him for being the way that he is. Like he put up with a lot of shit, you know. But we'll see how the newer Batman movies are going to be, because a couple of them were good, but a lot of them suck. I'm sorry. A lot of superhero movies suck. There's like a couple here and there that are okay, but I just think they're overdoing it with the superhero movies. When it comes to superhero movies, you release like some ever so often, but within the last like 2-3 years, it's just this oversaturation. And then you have all of these superhero like TV shows too, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's annoying. It really is. Like, it's making me not like watching superhero shows, which I usually do. But yeah, if you don't like vampires, wrong show, because we talk about them a lot here. So I'm gonna get back to reacting to this. Okay. Oh my gosh. Whew. This is the sexiest thing I've ever read. I'm like so invested. I'm like, yeah. Okay, now we get into the sex scene, so I'm probably gonna be reacting like crazy. Ooh, yes. Okay, so this is sexy to me. Okay, let me repeat this. Okay, so it says, each kiss, each caress, every lick and shiver was magnified. And then it continues. Raph forced them to take it slowly. When she would have straddled him, he put her on her back and pleasured her, even though his own body was raging for a release. He was so gentle with her, so loving. Just melts your heart, doesn't it? I'm just a mess. I'm just being thirsty, y'all. Okay. Aww. I won't lie, I love that terminology that he calls Beth, which is Leland. Let me go back to the beginning here so I can find what that means, because there is a glossary in here, which is kind of nice. Okay, so a Leland is a noun, and it's a term of endearment, loosely translated as dearest one. That is so romantic, though. And then Helren is a male vampire that's been mated to a female. Now, this is interesting. So males can take more than one female as a mate, and you know most men would do that. Now there are some guys that would be like, you know, I like monogamy, but most guys, man, they'd be like, I'm gonna have as many women as possible. Fuck that shit, you know, man. I'm being messy. All right, let's continue with the steamy hotness here. Woo! Woo! Aww. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So we go from all this hot steaminess, you know, Raph and Beth having their moment, you know what I'm saying? And then we just transition to Butch being in a bed that he doesn't know where he is. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? Let's see. Whoa, wait. Okay, so couple questions. First, how the hell did Butch get to this bed and he don't even know where he is? And then there's like a guy in the other bed. So I'm like, what is going on here? Nothing wrong with that, but what is going on here? Like is Butch changing his perceptions here? What's going on? Like, he says he likes Marissa, and now he's cheating on her. Like, what's going on? Come on, Butch. No, I'm just being messy. I'm being messy. Yeah, I like me some Vicious. I love this. Okay, so we have Shreds. Hey, welcome to the program. And apparently I am ugly, and I'm also disgusting, which I take as a compliment. Like, look, I get called ugly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, so it don't bother me. If you're calling me ugly, that means I must be sexy. So thank you. I appreciate it. So you already know. But and to those of you who want to call me a monkey, I don't really care. And plus, monkeys are awesome. They're actually very smart. So I mean, come on. It don't bother me. If you feel I'm disgusting and I'm ugly, that's how you feel about me. But I'll tell you this though, a lot, not to be like that, but a lot of men find me attractive. So beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Just saying. And you know what? For me, I work out, I'm healthy. you're not a doctor to determine my health condition, so you can have several seats for that. So there are plenty of men who love women who are fabulous and thick. Okay, and I take care of myself, and no disrespect, but it's none of your business. Okay, it's none of your business about how I'm supposed to look like and how I'm supposed to be. So you can have several seats for that. And the funny thing is, usually when I have people tell me that I'm ugly, they're usually attracted to me. So that's usually how it goes. But the library is now closed, darling. So let's get back to this sexy book here. Just saying. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love Torment. He's one of my favorites. You know, I do have a thing for Zadis though. Zadis is very sexy. Like he has like just dark black eyes and stuff. That's really hot to me. That's really hot, and he has nice charisma as well. So yeah, you can call me a monkey. I don't really care. See, usually when people say that I'm ugly, it's either they find me attractive, or they just want me to be all like, come on, like you're being a bitch. Like, nobody's got time, you know? It's like, find something better to do with your day. No disrespect, but like, there's much better things to do in your day than calling someone a monkey. Or I've been called all of that, you know? And actually, when someone calls me ugly, that's like a turn on for me. So you shouldn't call me ugly. So just saying. And what's wrong with having short hair? Nothing wrong with that. Like, come on now. Nope. You F off. Nobody's got time. Nobody's got time to deal with that type of ignorance. See, honey, it's a whole new day, and plus size men and women, okay, or as they're called, big handsome males or big handsome men, okay, we have heard everything in the book. So you can call me fat, you can call me ugly, and yes, you can fuck off too. You want to tell me to fuck off? You fuck off. Find something better to do in your day. You know, it might reward you to read a book too. You might learn something. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. All talk. Nobody's got time. It's a new day. I'm sorry. Have several seats. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why. It's like every time I, you know, do my show, I have to deal with like obnoxious assholes. Like, you know, get a fucking life. Yeah, get a fucking life. Like, find something better to do in your day. So I'm just ignoring y'all, so y'all can talk all the shit you want. I've said what I've needed to say. You have a good day. I'm gonna enjoy reading about, you know, a really good sexy romance scene and turn myself on here. So you have a good day. Au revoir. All right, let me continue here, guys. No. Okay, so this is another thing. Whew, I might got stuff in my eye. Ugh. Sorry about that, guys. But this is what I also find interesting is how Butch just easily adjusts to like, oh, they're vampires. Okay, whatever. Like, I was expecting Butch to be more like, ah, they're vampires. Like, how do I handle this situation? So, yeah, it's kind of refreshing. And of course, we have Disgusting. Welcome to the show. And no, I'm not taking it personal. It's just nobody's got time to deal with like assholes. No, nobody's got time. Like, I'm enjoying myself, you know? So it's like nobody's got time. And then you want to tell me maybe you should read some nonfiction. You probably don't even read books. I'm sorry. I mean, not to be an asshole, but it's like, you want to tell me to read nonfiction? Do you even know what nonfiction is? Probably not. Oh my gosh, ridiculous. I'm sure you guys are nice people, but it's like, come on, it's like, find something better to do. Like, only someone would say go read nonfiction if they don't know what nonfiction is. And if you're going to insult me, give examples of nonfiction, because I would love to read some nonfiction, since clearly I don't know how to, you know, come on. I don't know. I don't know what nonfiction is. Like, come on. No. Nah. No, nobody's got time. Oh. Oh my gosh. So, you read, right? If you read, then you would not tell another person not to read. Like, see, this is a reason why a lot of people don't respect adult readers, is because some of y'all are immature, which is sad, and it creates a bad impression on you know, on the adult reading book community. So it's you guys setting the bad example, not me. Like, y'all just being ratchet just to be ratchet. Like, come on. It's just like, nobody has time. Nobody has time. It's funny, but it's, oh, come on. You know. Actually, I will admit though, I do find Beast from X-Men attractive though. I find him incredibly sexy. I think it's just because he's super smart, super confident, and I do like hairy men as well. So maybe that's why I like Beast from X-Men. That's probably it. Yeah, he's pretty sexy. All right, let me continue here. Aww. Aww. No way. Okay, so I find this funny. So Shred says because he is gay. What is wrong with having a gay character in a romance book? And actually, I do read a lot of LGBTQIA plus romance books. So there's nothing wrong with that. You know, at the end of the day, this is just me. Because we are LGBTQIA plus accepting on this show. To me, love is love. So I don't see why people are, you know, people think that, like, you know, saying that, oh, it's because, you know, usually when it comes to I don't understand why people have such an issue with it within the romance genre. It's like, come on, like, that's immature thinking. I mean, we all have our preferences, and that's fine to have preferences, but to just say something stupid like that, like, there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. It's not for, you know, it's not going to be everybody's mindset, and it's okay to have a difference in mindset, but, like, to say something so stupid like that, you know, that's, like, some of you guys are immature, and it's really sad, actually. It's very sad. Very, very sad. Oh, and another thing, let's talk about that. Since Shred wanted to bring up this point, I want to talk about that quick, because that is interesting. So, I'm not assuming nothing, but, like, when people are being ignorant, I'm going to address it. But Shreds has a really interesting point here, that apparently, because I read romance books, that means that I will never have a relationship. And I find that really funny, because the whole point of romance, like the romance genre, is to have a positive belief in love and understanding the complexities of love and what it takes sometimes to actually have a good relationship. And sometimes it's rocky, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and sometimes it does. And these are all realistic themes that happen within the romance genre. So just because someone reads romance, that doesn't make them different. That's an ignorant mindset too. Just saying. Like, we all have things that we like, and we all have things that we enjoy. So, like, if I, like, for example, if I told you guys, like, the things that you like sucked, yeah, you would definitely be offended. But I just find it really funny that you guys are taking time out of your day to think that I'm gonna feel offended by what you say. So, and I'm fat and I'm fabulous. And if you don't like it, that means I'm not for you. But trust and believe, there are a lot of men who like the way that I look, and they appreciate the way that I look. So I'm not for you, honey. Sorry. So you can call me disgusting. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. So, and usually it's usually people like you who say that, but then be attracted to me. So I'm just brushing it off my shoulder. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're on chapter 42. So things are getting interesting, guys, I have to say. So oh man, you guys are really funny, but not. It's just ignorance. It's like, come on, you know. What's wrong with, see, that's the thing that makes me laugh too, is what's wrong with porn? Like what's the issue with porn? There's nothing wrong with porn. There's not. Like adults, a lot of adults like porn. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with porn. Like, there, you know, and there's actually porn that is it's very tasteful and it's done in a respectful way. And I find this funny, especially because I specialize in like the romance like book genre. Partially, I also read historical fiction, and I do reviews on webtoons, which are web comics from South Korea. But it's just funny to me that like people have, and like some, well, I'm not going to generalize that, some people have a problem with the romance genre because they equate it you know, they equate it to porn, and it's not. Like some romance, it's called smut, okay? Some romance can get smutty, but it's a matter of personal preference. And there is porn that's actually tasteful, it's actually sexy, and it's actually done in a respectful way. So come on. that's really immature. That's really immature, you know. Like I love the fact that people like to equate sometimes romance to porn when the book genre, it's two different things. You guys are really funny. Like, seriously, that's ridiculous. Yeah, there's like porn, they have a lot of porn that's actually like tasteful, it's well put together. Like, come on. Excuse me here. You guys are hilarious. There's nothing wrong with that. And actually, for your information, a lot of adult women actually watch porn, and they actually do make porn for women as well. It's called female centric porn. Knowledge. Yeah, I mean, you guys brought it up, so I'm gonna answer it. So and actually, it takes a lot of work to No pun intended. But it does take a lot of effort to be a porn actor or actress. It's not as easy as you may think. So, knowledge. But you know, it's a matter of personal opinion. But you know, I don't have a problem with it. And what's wrong with bananas? Bananas are good for you. I like bananas. Oh man, you guys are ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, let's continue. Nothing wrong with monkeys, man. Nothing wrong with monkeys. Alrighty. Chapter 42. Oh no! Whew, that was a close call. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so we're at the part now, chapter 42. They're getting married, and it's funny because Beth thought she like damaged her ring, so that's gotta be like really nerve-wracking. Oh, and by the way, a lot of like Jewish guys are actually really sexy, so props to all the good-looking Jewish men out there. Okay, yes. And Jewish, like a lot of like Jewish women too are gorgeous, so shout out to Jewish people. Okay, all right. Yeah, like guys, like for me, when it comes to men, like this is just me. I like all different kinds of men, so you know, I like white guys. I especially have a thing for Asian men. That's just me personally. Yeah, I like my preferences have really changed too. I mean, I like the lumberjack guys, so shout outs to the lumberjack guys, looking good. So you know, and yes, I do have a deep voice, and that's okay because there are a lot of women who do have deep voices, and mine especially is very sexy sounding. I get a lot of compliments from men telling me that my voice is sexy, so thank you. All right, let's continue here. I want to see what happens at this wedding. I know it's gonna get ratchet. It's gonna get ratchet. Oh, well, see. Aw. Okay, so Wellesley is Thor's Shellen, who he is of course a member of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. So, and and we have Thermal. Hey, welcome to the show. And Thermal says, super interesting ideology. Yeah, I just love people for being people. Like, for me, I just accept people for being who they are. You know, just like how I accept all of you guys who come to my show and check it out. I keep it real, I do, but you know, I just accept people for being people. So when people call me a monkey and like the N-word and stuff, like, I'm not gonna sit down and not lie and say that doesn't make me sad, and it doesn't, like, you know, hurt my feelings just a little bit. But I've just learned that that's just what comes with doing this, so I get used to it. Like when someone says I'm ugly, I get turned on by that. So if you want me to get angry and stuff, then don't call me ugly, because I will get turned on. I will get hot and bothered. So if you want the opposite effect of that, you don't want to call me ugly. Just saying. Okay? Oh, hey, we got someone new. Yeah. And we have Nyx. Welcome to the program. And Nyx says, hey, you do you, girl. Good on you for not responding to that trash. Seriously, that is disgusting behavior. You should never get used to that. Nobody should. Yeah, I mean, that's just what comes with this show. Is just because I am a plus size, you know, black woman, I get disgusting stuff said to me all the time. And that's the way you have to respond to it. Like, you can't give people that want to be ignorant a nasty reaction, because that's what they want. That's how they get hot and bothered. They get turned on when you're pissed off, you know? So in a way, so I just do the opposite, and I just, you know, I do the opposite and rise above the ignorance. So, you know, that's one thing. I do address it, you know, but I don't address it to give them attention. I address it to let them know that, you know, that I don't put up with the bullshit. So, and there are very attractive plus size women out here. Okay, we got Lizzo, myself, and there are many beautiful plus size women, both on, you know, YouTube, Twitch, and they are doing their damn thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. And most of the time, when I get sometimes people who say that, oh, you're ugly, and oh, I would never go out with you, these be the same ones that be telling me, oh, you look good, you know, I want to get a date with you. And it's like, no, you can't get a date with me after you call me ugly. Like, bitch, please, you know. So I welcome you, Nyx. Thanks so much for that compliment. That I really appreciate it. And Nick says, if you like Black Dagger, you should also explore the Anita Blake series. Yeah, I got the whole thing. We gonna be reacting to that. We gonna be. I heard it's great. Laurel K. Hamilton is also one of my favorites. And she has what's called the Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series. It is sassy, it is sexy, it is the business from what I've heard. So I got all the books. We gonna be checking that out for sure. But the reason why I started off with Black Dagger was because it was highly recommended. And when people found out that I was into vampire romance, they're like, you need to check this out, girl. And I was like, oh, bitch, let me get this. So far, the first book, though, maybe the other books will be better, but it's kind of boring in some parts, you know? But so far, the ending is a little bit, it's getting a little bit better. But, okay, let's see what happens here. Because, see, what I do, guys, is I'm actually listening to it right now. I'm listening to it, the audiobook, and then I like to read it as well. Like, that's just how I am. So, all right, let's see. So sorry for yawning, y'all. Ooh. Oh, she got a sexy dress, guys. So Wellesley brought a dress for Beth to wear for the ceremony, and it's like this sexy, like wrap kind of red kind of dress. I would totally wear something like that. But see, guys, like for my wedding though, this is what I see. I would have like maybe 2 outfit changes. But I've always wanted to have like a cosplay wedding. Oh, I've always wanted that. Like, you know, like I would say like maybe my husband would dress up like Dante. Guys, I love me some Dante from Devil May Cry. Yes, bitch, yes. Whoo, he is so fun. And Nick, thanks so much for following. I appreciate it. And oh my gosh, he is so fine. And then maybe I would dress up like Yuna from like Final Fantasy X, because I don't really have that body, because, you know, I'm fat and ugly. So immature. But then these be the same, sometimes the same people being like, oh, I can't get into a relationship. I really want a relationship. Well, maybe if you stop being an asshole to people, you might be in one. No shade, but it's just not to be rude, but it's just like, that's the thing. It's like going around and saying, you know, calling people ugly and stuff, and it's like, oh, I want a relationship. How you gonna have a relationship when you talking shit and being nasty to people? Like, people want to be in relationships with people that are nice, that are respectable, that are loving and caring. This is why, to tie it back in, this is the reason why Beth and Raph like really complement each other, is because they understand this principle. Like, they want to be together because they respect each other and there's that deep love connection. That's what it means to be in a relationship. Okay, being in a relationship is not because you want to be trendy, is not because you're trying to one up your friends. It's because you actually unconditionally love that person and you want to be there for them and you want to make it work. That's what it means to be in a relationship. And with that, the library is motherfucking closed. I am so savage today, because it's just like, I get so sick and tired. It's like every time I do my show, I'm getting called the N-word. You know, people want to judge me for the type of men that I like. I like what I like, okay? I like me some Beast from X-Men. You know why? Because he's a sexy motherfucker. He's smart. He knows his shit. He's got that body. Fine as fuck. Fine as fuck. But all my messiness aside, but he is sexy as fuck. Let's get back to it. Let's see what's gonna happen at this messy ass wedding. Ooh, excuse me, guys. Sorry. Aww. Oh. Ooh. Okay, so here's a description, guys, of the dress. I am living for this. Okay, so it says the dress was antique with black beading over lace on the bodice and a tremendous waterfall of a skirt. The red satin positively smoldered, catching the light from the candles and holding the glow deep within its folds. Spectacular, guys. Spectacular. Wellesley is popping, guys. Wellesley is like one of my favorite characters now. She's the Shellin of Tor, and she kind of gives like a warning in a way to Beth, being like, you know, I just want to be honest with you. Being married to one of these, you know, brothers is not as easy as you may think, and she's just like, just give me a call if you need to kiki, you know. Like if you need to vent, okay, just call me. I'm good. So that it seems like I think her and Beth will become good friends, hopefully, because she seems really nice. But you know, never say never. Let's see what happens. Aww. Mm. Oh my gosh, guys, I am so thirsty. Okay, so Vicious has like boxers on, and the way that J.R. Ward, writes it, it was like hanging off of his hips. That is so sexy to me when like guys wear boxers like that and it just hangs oh, gorgeous as fuck. I'm just saying. But enough of my thirst trap. Okay, I am no thirst trap, guys. Mm, 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 mm.
Show up in the party. Show up in the party. Show up in the party.
I'm sorry, guys. I haven't like reacted because this is so good. I'm like in the zone here. Aw. Oh, this is getting good. This is getting good. Okay, so we're on chapter 43. I'm going to take a oh, we are almost done, guys. I'm gonna really suck it up because I want to finish this book, because guys, the next book that we're going to be doing a reaction to, oh my gosh, guys, this author really rocks. So I cannot wait to do that one. So I'm gonna just take a quick like bathroom break, and then I'll be right back with some more reactions of Dark Lover. No. Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. I'll be back, guys.
I just wanna. Everybody now. Oh yeah. Stop your feet. I just wanna. Stop your feet. Everybody now. Stop your feet. I just wanna. Oh yeah. Oh, oh yeah. Oh no. Stop your feet. Everybody now. Stop your feet. I just wanna. Oh yeah. Oh, stop your feet. Oh no.
All right. Thanks so much for your patience, guys. I had to really go to the bathroom. Okay. All right. Let me sit back down here, and I'm going to go probably for one more hour, which means I'm going to finish another chapter, and then we're going to call it an episode. So here I am, and let's continue here. I'm so sorry, guys, for the first hour of this show. I don't know why, but I deal with this all the time. It's just people being assholes and, you know, sometimes saying nasty, like, racist stuff to me and stuff. I'm so sorry. I try my best to ignore it, but you know, sometimes it's like you can only put up with so much of that, like, bullshit, you know, that you gotta stand up for yourself respectfully, you know. All right, so let's continue Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. All right. So we're going to conclude here with, see, I wanted to go a little bit longer, but guys, I haven't been like feeling well today. So it's like I'm just going in and out of having a lot of energy, some of having not enough energy. Then some days I have a lot of energy. So so I was like, you know what, let me just maybe read another like chapter or two and then call it a day, and then later on today I'll come back again, and then hopefully we can finally finish this shit. But there's so many chapters though, so I don't know how I'm gonna do it with Outlander. Outlander is fucking long, but it's really good, so maybe we'll see. Chapter 43, guys. Aww. Oh hey, we have Remez. Yeah, there we go. Welcome to the program. I'm doing what's called a reaction reading vlog, and this is just me like reading. I'm reading the book actually live and then reacting to it. So that's what I'm doing. But welcome. I'm doing okay. I'm just kind of feeling a little bit sick. It's just, I just feel a little awful, but I'll probably get over it the next like 2 to 3 days, hopefully. But besides that, I'm good, man. How you doing? How you doing? Well, that's good. I love Fritz. Fritz is another character that I really enjoy. Fritz is Darius's butler. Yeah, he's great. Like, his sense of humor it's just perfect. He's top notch. I enjoy him greatly. Whew. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is great. Like I said, this is why I love Fritz. So Fritz is like, hey, are you ready to see your guest? And he's just like, are you receiving? And he's like, receiving? Hell yeah. Yo, Butch is a thirst trap. Like, for he is so thirsty for Marissa. Like, I know once they, have sex, it's gonna go down. Like, backs are gonna get broken or something. No. It's gonna be that, like, back breaking sex. I think that's what's gonna happen. It's so good. It's so, this part is hilarious. It's like ridiculous. All right, let me continue here. Whew, excuse me. Ooh, oh, it's about to go down. It's about to go down. Marissa and Butch is about to get it on. Okay, it's gonna happen. Oh, oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no. Oh, that's so messed up. Okay, so what happened? Oh, thanks so much, Henry, for following. I appreciate it. Okay, so what happened was so Fritz, I think, was it Fritz or oh no, Wellesley asked for some like ingredients, so she goes to like the pantry and like Zadis is just like right next to her looking at her like, whoa. That's so uncomfortable. Oh my gosh. And like Raft warned her to like stay away from him, so yeah, that's not his well, that's not her fault. So let's see what happens.
Started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too?
I really like Zetas, man. Oh. Okay, it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down now. Okay, so we went from Beth to Butch's point of view now. Aww. Aww. Butch is so romantic though. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Aww. Aww. That's so romantic. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, Butch really likes Marissa a lot, like a lot, and he's just like, you know, I want to, you know, be the right man for her. I want to take my time. I want to make this work, and I'm just like, I love when some men think this way. Oh, it's so refreshing. I love it. I love it. Oh. Okay, guys, I gotta read this. This is absolutely wonderful. Okay, so this is the banter between Marissa and Butch, and okay, so this is Butch. So Butch is like, Marissa, you know I'm not one of your kind, don't you? She nodded. From the moment I first saw you, and that doesn't turn you off, bother you? No, I like the way I feel around you. And how's that? He asked, getting quiet. I feel safe. I feel pretty. She paused and eyed his lips. And sometimes other things. Like what? In spite of his good intentions, he really wanted to hear about the other things. Okay. And then she just flat out says, I get hot, especially here. She touched her breast and here. Her hands brushed over the juncture between her thighs. It's about to go down, okay? So Aw. Oh. Mm. Mm. Oh my gosh, guys, this is hilarious. Okay, so we're getting into the love making scene, okay, between Marissa and Butch, and he saw her fangs and he's just like, oh, this is turning me on. Oh. Oh my gosh, like this book is something else, guys. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Oh my gosh. Aww. Whew. Woo. Okay, it's about to go down now. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Ooh. I need a fan. Let me get a fan. I gotta cool down, guys. This is getting me, man. Oh my god. This is very hot. Whew. Man, do you see this sweat on my forehead? Do you see this sweat? Oh my gosh. It's crazy. Whew, this sweat. This is pretty hot, guys. Let me tell you. I mean, she is like sucking Butch's tongue, and I'm like, oh. Mm-hmm. I'm such a mess, guys. Mm-mm. Whew.
What's holding you down? I ain't like others. Don't let them hold your ground. I am in the summer sky. I am hearing all the lies. Don't turn your back on me. I'm here for you. I'll light your fire as the cold comes through. You'll be my passenger and I'll break through.
Oh, this is hilarious, guys, because like, you know, since she's a vampire, like, okay, so it was getting hot, okay, it was, you see me sweating, okay, and then the chair they were sitting in, he was gripping so hard from all of the arousal feelings that he like broke that shit, and then she like fell to the floor. So like she just like picks him up like a paperweight or something. Like, oh my gosh, that's so hilarious. Mm.
What's holding you down? I ain't like others. Don't let them hold your ground. I am in the summer sky. I am
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Round and round we go, losing self-control. I keep telling myself,
Aw.
wanna let you know. Is this what we become?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I am swooning so hard for Butch, guys. Like, at first, I mean, he can be kind of a jerk sometimes, just like Raph. You know, you love to hate him. But I love this. This is so romantic. So it's so Butch says this is him talking to Marissa, and he's like, "Whatever you want of me," he murmured, "you can have." Oh, this is getting so interesting. Okay, guys, so we're gonna continue until we finish this. Hopefully, I can finish this. Yeah, we just have like a couple more pages to go here. Oh my gosh, guys, we're almost done with this book. Sorry this one took longer because usually I read a lot faster, but yeah, I've had a lot going on this last couple of weeks. But now, you know, I have some more like quiet time. I'm going to be kind of reading ahead and then, you know, kind of doing a recap. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think about these more extended readathon reading vlogs that I'm doing. And oh, well, thank you for saying I'm sexy. I appreciate that. And we have American sushi. I like it. I like it. Okay, that's not cool. Social eating disorder. Really? Okay, come on now. Thanks for following, but come on. That's kind of rude. It's kind of rude. But yeah, I am very excited for this book, The Fever Dream by George R.R. Martin. So I can't wait to read that. So yeah, I gotta add a lot to. I have so much on my TBR, guys. It's embarrassing. So yeah, no, I respect that, but here's the thing. You know, sometimes people check out my show and they just do that to be like an asshole and just be rude to me. But that's not anything to joke around with. So I'm sorry that, you know, you had to like deal with that, because I know it's not easy. You know, I'm a fat person, so it's a little bit different, but, you know, I have that same kind of similar kind of problem where people are just constantly calling me fat and ugly, and I won't lie, sometimes it depresses you, you know? And for me, for a very long time, I was like, yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe I am fat and ugly. Maybe I need to, you know, get plastic surgery and lose all this weight. But then I was like, if I'm gonna lose weight, like, it's for, I should be doing it for myself and for my health. And I've actually lost some weight. I used to be bigger than this, guys. So my self-esteem and self-confidence is something where, you know, I'm still working on it, you know, because yeah, I've a lot. Oh, that's so funny. You're so funny, American Sushi, saying that shit. You might be fat, but you still, you know, you still smash me. Okay, all right. I appreciate that compliment, but let me tell you, you know, this is just makeup. When I take this off, I I am an ugly creature. Let me tell you, it's kind of scary how I look like without makeup on. Like I make myself scream. I'm like, ah, you know, like ah, you know. But I've just learned, guys, in life, you just can't please everybody. So you just have to be yourself. And at the end of the day, like, that's all. Honestly, that's all you can do, you know. So I have my up and down days, but I'm still just learning to love myself and just accept myself for being who I am, because I know I'm not gonna be the preference for, you know, all men, you know. I just have to just be myself, and then the men that are attracted to me, they like me, then I'm cool with them, you know. I'm just kind of tired of just being called fat and ugly, and yeah, or being told, you know, my skin tone is not attractive. It hurts, you know. It really does. I'm like, you know. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks so much for you know, checking out another episode of Book Shade. This was a very interesting episode. It was fun. It was a little bit stressful, you know, being called fat and ugly and all that, but, you know, water off a duck's back, as Jinx Monsoon from RuPaul's Drag Race would say. All right, guys, so thanks so much for checking out the show. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back once again, probably earlier on in the day, hopefully, because I really want to finish this. Like, I am so fucking close to being done. Like, damn it. All right, guys, thanks so much once again, and like I always say, enjoy the darkness of reading. All right, guys, I will see you very soon. Take care, guys.